Stereotype of BMW drivers, I have picked out my BMW M shirt to fit the mood or review for today. So, this car is a 2011 E92 M3. As you all know, as we progress further on into this decade and into this century, we are moving with the times and we are improving our technologies in the automotive industry by putting V6s with turbochargers, 4-cylinders with turbochargers, and even implementing hybrid engines in different types of cars nowadays. So to see this car with naturally aspirated V8, it's kind of sad really. Because the V8 in this car is absolutely incredible. With this car being a little older, you'd think it would kind of start to be going out of date, but my God, what a looker this car is. This car's got the curves, the taillights, and even the iDrive system that I'm most familiar with on this BMW. And it all feels relatively new to me, or else it still feels up to date. Now there are a lot of differences done to this car. So my friend William, who's the owner of this car, customized it. No, I don't mean just the stickers. The stickers are on the car because he is a VP of a company who runs rallies. So he still has all the decor and he leaves the stickers on. It's kind of like his branding and logo as he drives around. Now other than the stickers, what is done is he's got a stage 2 Dinan tune on it, but like a light tune, only adds 9 horsepower. He has an MS Pulley Kit and a stage 2 intake charger kit. The next two things are something that I really love. He has a stock exhaust mod and a Catless Xpipe. Something that I was shocked and what y'all may have been fooled is, this is actually not a compact. You need to put the rims on it, and with all these other different kind of the pulley mod, the tune and everything, this is like, I guess you could call it a carbon fiber edition, I don't know. But it's not a compact, but it basically is. I mean, you still got your M mode here, you still got your power, your EDC, everything here. To me, it's like I've been struggling to find what's different about it. Only thing I can think of is really is it does not have the IPE exhaust that comes with the compact. If you're an M3 owner, you will know that if you do a Catless Xpipe on an IPE, a lot of people have said it's raspy. Now, you know, it depends on who you ask. And what I've heard is makes it sound real race car-y. But because we don't have the IPE, stock exhaust, but with the Catless Xpipe, my God, what a sound it has. So this is me just cruising, and oh, would you listen to this? Going slow, it sounds like a race car. God almighty, I love it. Now if you turn on that M mode and you do those downshifts, this. Oh, come on, really. Oh, what a sound. Oh, yes. And now let's give it a little. What a sound. Another unique feature about this car is this was one of the also last feature the hydraulic steering. I had a Subaru that was technically hydraulic steering, but it did not feel the way that this did. I mean, I feel like this is like true, like hydraulic. I can feel every bump in the road. I can feel every turn, every crevice, every corner. It really gives you a lot of feedback to really give you a sense of what's underneath the tires. This has to be probably one of the best dual clutch transmissions I've ever driven. I was in my friend's 700 horsepower GTR, and gearbox didn't know what it wanted, wouldn't make up its mind. It was horrendous. Very fast car, but horrendous gearbox. This, oh, it's almost instant. It's almost instantaneous, and it's not too harsh in your regular driving mode. I've done a good bit of reviews now. I've driven probably, you know, I can't say how many, but I've driven a good number of cars, and I could say that I've probably driven a lot more cars than the average person. I've driven more fun cars in this car. For example, the Lotus review that I did, still, hands down, most fun car I've ever driven. Economical cars, and I've driven big, comfy cars. But this is the greatest car I've ever driven. Have enough room in the back to fit, you know, a good size American male. Have enough room in the boot to put all my camera equipment, whatever you need to put back there, really. Being able to just to daily this thing and it still be super comfortable. Switching on the in mode, it's like the car wakes up. It's all of a sudden it becomes aware, and it becomes this agile killing creature that wants to just tear up the road. It's the best all-in-one that I've ever come across. It's like nothing I've really ever felt before. It's not too harsh, it's not too soft. It doesn't want to kill me, but it's enough to say, hey, let's push it. It has almost everything that I'd want or need in a car, and it's hard to fault it. Oh, just listen to that. Oh, what a car. Come on. Like, what better soundtrack could you ask for than that? Most V8s, they sound big, meaty, and disgusting, angry. And like I said earlier, despite this being an older car, it still looks fantastic. I love the lines of this car. From every angle that you really look at it, you just think, wow, what a looker. I love the little side, I've always loved the side vents that the M3 has, and I love the tail lights, especially the quad tip exhaust, and even especially like, you know, and I love the front bumper, and not to mention the hood. 2 little scoops in the bulge, and it just gives you it just lets people know that there's something different about this. This is not no 3 Series. For the longest time, I had always wondered why it was such benchmark, why everyone compared their car, why Audi and Mercedes and everyone, they compare it to the M3. And this car really paints a clear visual picture of why. But with that, like, I feel like, you know, nowadays they kind of hold back, they limit themselves because they're trying to push forward with this technology and go with smaller engines and make it more efficient. But when they were allowed to have these V8s in the cars and naturally aspirated, it's just such a smooth engine. Given that it does have low torque, I mean, some people complain about that, but I actually thoroughly like it. It means you can rev out the car. You can get a real sense of the bellow and what the engine can do. After all, this engine does rev out to 8,200 RPMs. I think it's 8,250. But the fact that this V8 can get up that high, it wants you to rev it out. Everything in my mind telling me is to not do it, to just shift at 6,000, 7,000, but knowing that it can go all the way up to 82. And it's still being able to do that and having this perfect, like this awesome transmission, this smooth engine, it makes for an amazing daily driver. It's so smooth on the road, but if you want to, and you should, it wants to be driven hard. It wants to be taken to the track. It wants you to wrap it around corners and kind of even wants you to kick the butt out. Oh, you could feel everything in the steering, everything in the suspension. It just gives you the confidence to grip. This MDM system, it lets you play with the car, but it lets you play with it in a track sort of sense. Because whenever you go through a corner, the butt will kick out slightly and it'll shift power to different wheels, it'll brake it. But its MDM system is mainly there to keep you going as fast as you can, as safe as you can. You can tell that the people at BMW, that was their goal. Something that was super fun, something that you could throw around a track and really push the car and have an amazing driver's experience in it. And they freaking nailed it. Now there is a problem. Because this has 4-liter V8, it is quite thirsty, this car. I average, if you're driving good in this, and I mean if you're just daily driving it, driving on the road, without the urge to gun it or anything, you will average between 15 and 16 miles per gallon. And if you're going balls out, you're looking at 10 to 12. So, once realizing that this car drinks more than most middle-aged women in rock bands, I told myself I'd lay back, relax, drive the car in a more civilized manner. At least that's what I thought. How could that ever get old? Oh my! What a machine. The BMW also thought about this interior really well. It's one of the first times that it's kind of hard to put a cup holder right here, but they put one right here. And if you look, like, I don't have a drink with me right now, but it is perfect distance from my arms extending. What the hell? Like, they thought of everything with this car. And there's one further over that you probably can't see because of the guy in the camera, but it is right in front of the air vent, because they knew most of the time you want your drink chilled. So they put the cup holder right in front of the air vent. That way it is consistently cooling your drink. Who thinks of that? I feel like companies, automotive brand, we focus so much on moving with the times, but we forget that us enthusiasts, we drive these cars to have a great time. These cars and everything, it all comes down to the experience, and it comes down, it's built from the engine and the transmission all the way down to something as simple as the cup holders. And I would urge brands, BMW, everyone, I'd urge you to please keep that in mind as we move forward in innovations and technologies, to not lose the essentials that this car has.